So some surprising news out of Iowa, where in 2 polls now, Dr. Ben Carson has pulled ahead of you, one by 8 points, one by 9 points. What's your message to Iowans? Why should they vote for you and not Dr. Carson?
Well, first of all, I was really surprised to see it because 3 nights ago I was in Iowa. We had a packed house. We had 4,000 people, and it was a love fest. And I've done really well with the evangelicals and with the Tea Party and everything. And I just don't understand the number. But you know what? I accept the number. It means I have to work a little bit harder in Iowa. I think it's just the same. I mean, I'm going to make our country great again. We're going to do trade pacts that are incredible instead of like incompetent, because what we have right now with China, with Japan, with everybody is just incredible. And nobody's going to be able to do what I do in terms of making our country wealthy again so we can do all the things we want to do, including the military and the vets and taking care of people. So I'm just going to have to work a little bit harder in Iowa. I was very surprised to see the numbers. You know, I had a lead, and it sort of flip-flopped a little bit with Ben Carson. And I like Ben, but he cannot do with trade like I do with trade. He can't do with a lot of things like I do. So we'll just have to see what happens.
Well, you guys disagree. You two disagree on a number of issues. Immigration is one of them. Are you going to start contrasting your positions with his more?
Well, I think so. I mean, you just bring up one. He's very, very weak on immigration, and I'm very strong on immigration. And I feel, you know, when I made the announcement, I took a lot of heat. Then everybody found out I was right. With Kate, beautiful Kate in San Francisco, being killed by somebody that just walked into the country at least 5 times. They say 5, but it was probably much more than that. And the veteran, a 66-year-old woman, raped and killed in California 3 weeks ago, and just by an illegal immigrant again. And so much. I mean, this is so much. And I brought it up, and Ben Carson's very, very weak on immigration. He believes in amnesty strongly. He believes on citizenship. I mean, he's going to give citizenship to people that are here illegally, and you can't do that. And, you know, we disagree on other things also. But I think the big thing also is he's just not going to be able to do deals with China, to do deals with Japan. These countries are all ripping us like nobody has ever ripped us before. Well, I thought she did okay. I sort of felt she was going to do okay. It was a very partisan, and it looked quite partisan. The level of hatred between Republicans and Democrats was unbelievable. The level of, you've never seen anything like it. Now, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been dealing with Republicans, with Democrats. I get along with everybody, and I've always gotten along with everybody. In all of the years that I've been involved in politics, I have never seen dislike, hatred, whatever you want to call it, between 2 parties like you have right now.
Do you think that hurts the Republican Party?
I think it hurts both parties.
Both parties.
I really think it hurts the country. To be honest with you, Jake, it hurts the country. Nothing can be done. I mean, like, we have corporate inversion where tremendous amounts of money wants to come back into the country. It's impossible. Everybody agrees. But this is an interesting one. The Republicans and the Democrats, they all agree.
But you also recently said that the Middle East would be better off with Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, and Assad in power. How does...
I didn't say Assad, but we certainly have not gained anything with Gaddafi. And you look at what happened. I mean, look at Libya. Look at Iraq. Iraq used to be no terrorists. He would kill the terrorists immediately. It was like, now it's the Harvard of terrorism. Iraq. If you look at Iraq from years ago, I'm not saying he was a nice guy. He was a horrible guy. But it was a lot better than it is right now. Right now, Iraq is a training ground for terrorists. Right now, Libya, nobody even knows Libya. Frankly, there is no Iraq and there is no Libya. It's all broken up. They have no control. Nobody knows what's going on.
The world would be better off with Saddam Hussein
100%.
and Gaddafi in power?
100%. Now, as far as Assad is concerned.
What about the human rights abuses?
Let's talk about, well, you don't think they're happening now? They're worse now than they ever were. People are getting their heads chopped off. They're being drowned. Right now, they're far worse than they were ever under Saddam Hussein or Gaddafi. I mean, look what happened. Libya's a catastrophe. You look at our ambassador as an example, okay? Libya is a disaster. Iraq is a disaster. Syria is a disaster. The whole Middle East. And it all blew up around Hillary Clinton and around Barack Obama. It all blew up. Now, one thing about Assad, not a good guy. I understand that. But we're backing and spending billions and billions of dollars on backing rebels that we have no idea who they are. And a lot of people think they're ISIS. I happen to think they're ISIS, but who knows? But we're spending billions of dollars to get Assad out with people that we have no idea who they are. I don't think that's smart. We have to rebuild our country. Our country's falling to pieces. We have $19 trillion in debt. We have infrastructure that's a disaster. Our roadways our airports, our schools, everything. We have to start thinking about ourselves. We're pouring trillions of dollars into the Middle East, and we have nothing for it. We have nothing.
Let's turn to the issue of super PACs and big money in politics. You issued a statement this week disavowing all super PACs that are out there in your name, requesting that they return all of the donations and calling on all presidential candidates to do the same. Why?
It's a scam. It's a big fat scam. These super PACs are a disaster. I think they had said 9 or 10 super PACs were set up in my name. I don't even know who these people are. You have all these people raising money, I guess in the name of Trump, that we love Trump, and some of them I'm sure do. And probably some of them don't. And I have no idea what they're going to do with the money they're raising. But they're raising all of this money, and they're going to spend it on the campaign. And we have, you know, the candidates aren't supposed to be involved in all that stuff. But they have all this money going. Nobody even knows who the people are. Nobody knows where they are. Nobody knows what they're doing with the money. It's a whole big scam. If you look at Ben Carson spending money from super PACs all over the place. Now I hear his super PACs are going to merge. I've heard that his super PACs are essentially running his campaign in Iowa, where they're actually running this campaign, where they're doing all of the groundwork and everything. That's not what the purpose of a super PAC was supposed to be. And by the way, Jeb Bush, the same thing. He's got one of his best friends that heads up his super PAC. And I'm calling on all candidates to disavow their super PACs. It's a scam. They know it. It's a joke. I mean, it's a joke. They're all laughing about it. I laugh about it.
Another position where you two disagree is he thinks everyone should pay taxes, including the poor. He proposed something like tithing from the Bible, where everybody pays 10 or 15 or 20%. You don't. You believe in progressive taxation.
I agree with him 100%.
Oh, you do?
Except for one problem. I know how to administer. I know how to get things done. I know how to run a company or a country. And you're going to have millions of people and millions of tax returns coming in, and you're talking about an IRS, you'd have to build it even bigger than it is right now. And the amount is going to be so little. And I want it to run right. What I want to do is create opportunity, create jobs so that people get back on the tax rolls. You're talking about millions and tens of millions of tax returns going in with $1, where it costs you much more than that just to administer. So I agree with him 100%. I like the idea that everybody should pay something. But most of these people are paying nothing now. They have nothing. And what are you going to do? So I believe in proper management, proper administration. I'd love everybody to pay because psychologically I think that's good. But from an administration standpoint, it would be a total nightmare.